Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this Chaos Zero Nightmare video. So with a brand new year comes a brand new reroll guide. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 5 best units to reroll for in January 2026 to start your adventure in Chaos Zero Nightmare. So before we start, this video will be updated, in the future if there's any major patch or any really OP units that drop into game that you definitely must have. And this is accurate to January 2026. So if you're watching this video 6 months later, then the units or the ranking or the priorities might have changed. But I'll do the updates accordingly if there's a demand for that. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's start with some basics in terms of rerolling. So first of all, you want to push through the story, the PvE contents or the seasonal contents with your desired units, right? So when you start the game, you want to push through at least, I'll say, the first 1 to 2 chapters with all the given free units like Trezor as well as Mika, because all these units, they're actually pretty strong. So you don't even need 5-star units to push through the initial contents. So you push enough and get sufficient signal amplification anchor as well as your normal rescue anchor to start your rerolling journey. So that's the idea. Depending on how far you push, right? So if you go into the missions, ideally what I'll say is at least push, I'll say, the first 3 chapters, because all this have all these resources right here that gives you EXP as well as some polling EXP and also training EXP to level up the beginner characters given to you. So you don't even need to spend energy to farm in the resource dungeons to level up those units. So push enough of this chapter, level up your characters enough, get through these battle missions right here. So we'll start off probably, I would say at the very least until chapter 1 or 2 if you're just re-rolling for an account. So push through all this, get all these free crystals right here plus all the different resources, and then you will be able to start re-rolling. So that's with regards to the cycle. And never ever use your crystals to go for the combatant rescue nor the partner rescue right here, unless you're spending in the game for more crystals, because generally speaking, the combatant rescue units as well as partners, they will be there permanently. So you kind of want to either use your crystals for the more rare raid up unit or save up for future units to come in case they are meta when they get released. So that's for the crystal side. So for this one, you want to use all the rescue anchor you use to get your desired unit from this pool. And then right now in this season, Sereniel right now is a limited raid up character, which is insanely strong. So she's the top 1 unit you want to go for. So like if you haven't seen the review for her, feel free to visit my video, which I'll link in the description down below. So this unit is insanely strong, insanely meta right now, has a lot of combo potential, has a lot of future proof potential, and is a limited character that won't go into the common combatant rescue. So this is where you kind of want to use all your signal amplification as well as your crystals to try to get her right here. So top 1 priority will be her. If you have enough resources or if you're spending in the game, then you kind of want to get her to at least E2 for cost to power level efficiency, because the E2 upgrade on this unit, pretty sick stuff, right? Like the E1 is massive damage boost, E2 is more damage plus more combo consistency withdraw. So really good stuff. So E2 if you have the resources. If you're just re-rolling and you just want 1 copy of her, then just go for her 1 copy and then at least 1 copy of the partner Peko right here. So the partner is also limited, insanely powerful for Sereniel. So E0 on both these partner and the combatant is more than sufficient to play the game. So that's for the January raid up character right here. Sereniel, top 1, strongest unit to reroll for. So next up, we have the combatant rescue as well as the partner rescue or the normal rescues in general. So if you are rerolling, just reroll for the combatant rescue, because partner rescue is a very RNG based banner. Like, first of all, the partners, some of them, they're really niche. They're not very flexible. You can't use them with different combatants. And the combatants as a whole is more important compared to the partners, because for the partner side, you'll be able to get some 4-star partners by just rolling on this combatant rescue. And the 4-star partners, some of them, if you do have them maxed out, they're pretty powerful compared to like a 1 copy 5-star partner right here. So getting the partner is not very powerful for your account if you don't have the combatants. But if you roll for the combatants and you get some good 4-star partners along the way, then that's more than sufficient for you to progress in the game. So that's why you want to roll for the combatant rescue always. And another thing to note is that if you have duplicates of the units, once you maxed out the units, for example, for your 4-star or your 5-stars, then this is where if you go into the memory archive right here, the cost of exchanging for the units is higher compared to the partner. So ideally, you want to roll for the combatants and then use this moment of the Radiant Hero currency right here to exchange for your desired partners. So that's the idea in terms of the rerolling as well as which banner to choose. Now, going back to the banner, for the normal combatant rescue, we will be starting the game off with Owen, Trezor, Mika, as well as Ray. So out of these 4 units, Ray, Mika, and Trezor, insanely powerful, insanely versatile. So you basically can use them to push through contents. You don't even need to start the game by rerolling. But if you have Sereniel, then you have a really comfortable account there. So for the 4-star characters you want to aim for when you're rerolling, ideally if you are going for a Sereniel main, then Selina's a good partner with Sereniel, with the tenacity bar recovery so that you can ravage the opponent multiple times to get the laser cycling going. So specifically for Sereniel, I think Selina's really good, and I think Selina has a lot of marked synergy as well as some passive synergy with some of the passive units like Maylin or Veronica. So Selina's a good unit to go for, specifically for this season with Sereniel in the banner. And then we have Nia and Cassius, which I think they are generally good units. So Cassius has been in the top of the Great Rift game since the season 1. So the zero cost quest cycling is really insane. The morale boosting, the overall damage and utility Cassius can provide for the team is just insane. So far he hasn't been nerfed yet, but if he's gonna be nerfed in the future, then you might wanna, not look out for him. But right now, it's a must lookout unit simply because it's just way too good for bossing. So yeah, he is definitely a unit you wanna have at least 1 copy in your account to function. So that's for Cassius. Nia is a unit which personally, in my honest take, is a really good unit for a lot of combo potential because you draw a lot. You can combo this unit with Eternal Hunger. You can combo this unit with your discard mechanics for some damage boost. And there's just a lot of combo potential with Nia in the team. So she's also a good unit to go for. So out of these 4-star characters, I think Barrel's also okay with some draw and damage potential. But if you ask me what are the 3 higher priority 4-stars you want to aim for, number 1, Selina. With Sereniel, right? Cassius is number 2. In fact, I think Cassius is much higher if you're not aiming for a Sereniel Selina combo. And then Nia is another one. So you have Trezor, you have Mika, you have Ray, and then there's a really good 4-star lineup to start. So that's with regards to the 4-star combatants. So for the duplicates of this unit, I think you don't have to worry too much. Like I mentioned, you only need 1 copy of the unit to work. Some units are better at the higher tiers, but if you roll enough on the Sereniel banner, and if you play the game long enough, eventually you'll be able to slowly max out the egos of these 4-stars. So that's for the 4-stars. So Cassius, Nia, Selina. Barrel is also okay pick to go for to start the account. So that's for the 4-star to look out for, together with all the starters like Ray, Mika, Trezor in the team. So that's with regards to the 4-stars. So moving to the 5-star side, today's video was actually meant to be the top 5 units to go for. So I wouldn't say that there's actually 5 5-star targets to go for, because in the 4-star category, Cassius right now is pretty much a must-have. So like if there's a top 5, Sereniel is 1, Cassius is 1, and then between Selina and Nia, depending on who you favor more, that will be another slot. So I'll be talking about 2 to 3 units that you can actually go for from the 5-star side, so that you have an idea of what are the units you should pull for or should have in your account to start. So if you have Sereniel in your account, then you have a really solid single target DPS. So this is where I think for the 5-star combatants right here, their single target DPS value will drop a little bit. Like they're still really good, but I think Sereniel is just way better than most of the single target carries right here. So for the 5-star side, I think Veronica is still the safest bet to go for, because number 1, she's one of the best unit for Chaos Dungeon deck building. Number 2, she has a lot of combo potential with many other units. Number 3, she has draw as well as damage, which is insane utility no matter which situation you are in. So Veronica is definitely a must go for in almost every account to start. So that will be another unit, okay? So for the single target DPS portion, we have Rin and Maylin, which I think they are still really good. So Rin and Mei Lin, they do a lot of damage on their own. And Mei Lin specifically, if you combo her with Veronica or passive units, like for example Selena, has some massive single target potential. So comparing her to Sereniel, I think the overall damage is still relatively similar, but Sereniel just has more utility and just have more burst in the grid width right now. So I think if you're going for Sereniel, Mei Lin's a unit which you can aim for, but you won't feel too sad if you don't have her, because you still have Sereniel to carry you for a single target component. So another unit will be Rin. So Rin's a really good single target DPS. So she's the Void side, and her whole combo cycling allows her to do a lot of burst damage. So like she's basically slightly weaker compared to Mei Lin. But if you're looking for a single target DPS in the Void compartment, Rin's also a good target to go for. So that's for the 3 units which I would recommend. Another unit which I think is insanely versatile and strong is Hugo. So you can combo Hugo with Trezor for the Hugo Trezor extra attack skill charge mechanic for you to cycle for a lot of damage. So this will be probably the 4 units that you want to hunt for. So for this list over here, some people will actually still suggest Caleb and Magna, but personally after playing the game for quite a bit, at least in the current meta, you don't actually need Caleb or Magna to survive contents. Like if you already have the likes of Mika or Ray fully built up to push through the contents, then like Caleb and Magna's value actually drops quite a bit because they're not that strong for most of the other contents. Like they are like a mix of tank with some damage, but they are not that strong on the damage side. So for the tank side, if you're able to survive with the 4 stars, then their values will drop quite a bit. So like I wouldn't recommend Caleb and Magna. Like for this list, either you want to go for Rin, Mei Lin, or even look for some single target carrying potential in a 5-star category, with Veronica having some insane utility in the game for farming as well as contents in general. Or if you want, Olia's also a good pick with the vulnerable debuff stacking, which is really good as a support. So in the long term, even if she's not the most meta unit, you can still use her for her vulnerable applications in the future. So this will be the few units to look out for from the normal combatant rescue. So to conclude this list, the top 5 combatants, or the list of combatants to be considered in the top 5 that you want to go for. Number 1, Sereniel. This is the current banner character. You want to go for her. Insanely good stuff. Then it will be between Rin, Mei Lin, as well as look for the next single target carry on the 5-star category. And then we have Veronica, also a must-have unit for just general utility, with some inclusion for Aaliyah for some supporting for the 5-star side. So on the 4-star category, if you are going for Sereniel, then you probably get a lot of Selena and Nia. So I think these 2 units will be quite easy to get. Then the next unit to hunt for will be Cages in the list. So this will be the full list of units for the top 5s in terms of their roles, in terms of their power level, as well as the different things they can do in this game for different game modes in general. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!